Have you ever gone to a restaurant and panicked and ordered a random glass or bottle of wine and you didn't even know whether you'd like it or if it paired with your food?
I think we all have been there.
I think so.
So today, we're going to show you how to order a glass or bottle of wine from a restaurant without feeling intimidated.
Coming up. So in today's video, we're going to go over the top 4 things that you need to know before ordering a bottle or glass of wine at a restaurant.
And if you stick around till the end, we'll go over an alternative method if you want to avoid all that chaos of ordering a glass or bottle of wine from a restaurant.
So let's get into it. So the first thing you need to consider when ordering a glass or bottle of wine from a restaurant is, what type of wine do you like to drink? Sounds easy, but it's a little bit more complicated than you may think, because once you've decided what type of wine you like, now you have to be able to describe that type of wine to your sommelier or waiter at the restaurant.
For example, do you like red wine or white wine?
Do you like bold wine or light wine?
Smooth wine or tannic?
Sweet wine or dry wine?
Acidic or soft? So you need to know how to describe the type of wine that you like in order for the sommelier to help you choose which glass or bottle you would like to have that night. There's no perfect bottle of wine that suits everyone.
You have to remember, everyone has a different taste and different palate when it comes to wine. So you have to find out what type you like best. That way the sommelier can help to guide you toward that perfect wine for you. Now, these wine terms can be really difficult to understand and to be able to talk about correctly, but lucky for you, we made a previous video all about beginner wine terms. Check it out up above.
So next, you need to consider whether you're going to pair the wine with food or not. So one tip that we really like to do if we know we're going to go out to a restaurant is that we look at the menu online before. That way, if you kind of have an idea of what type of food you're going to have with it, it makes it a whole lot easier to pick out your wine while you're at the restaurant.
And just generally speaking, red wine goes really well with hearty dishes such as red meat. White wine goes really well with more delicate dishes such as white meat and fish. Now that's an overgeneralization, so if you're looking to get more specific with what types of wine pair best with what types of food, check out our playlist up above.
Not only do you want to consider what you will be eating at the restaurant, but you also want to consider what your guests may be eating at the restaurant, especially if you're going to be picking up the bill.
So for example, if you and your guests are going to be having similar types of food to eat at the restaurant, maybe one bottle of wine is enough. However, if you're going to be getting steak and your guests are going to be ordering fish, well, maybe you're going to want 2 different types of wine or 2 different bottles of wine while you're at that restaurant as well. Now, if that gets too complicated or too expensive, another alternative is that you and your guests can order individual glasses of wine so that that specific glass matches with that specific food that you're going to be eating.
Now, if you're not going to be getting food with your wine, then you want to make sure that it's a good wine that goes along with your palate. That's where those terms will really come into play. For example, if you like tannic versus smooth or soft versus acidic wine.
So again, if you're not going to be ordering food, refer back to the first section because that's going to be much more important. But wait!
If you like what you see so far, make sure to like our video and consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. We post weekly content on wine tips and tricks for any level of wino to learn more about the world of wine. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we upload new content. Now next, you want to ask your sommelier for advice. This is where a lot of people may feel embarrassed or intimidated to ask questions that they think may be dumb questions, but this is where you really want to use your sommelier as a resource because they like that. That is their job.
There are literally thousands of different types of wine throughout the world. And unless you're a master sommelier, chances are there are going to be wines on their wine menu that you've never heard about. Talk to the sommelier. It's their job to be a master of the wine that's served at that restaurant. So it's their job to be able to guide you to a wine on their wine list that you will enjoy.
So again, don't be intimidated. It's the sommelier's job, and they are there to serve you. Also, if you learn the terms to describe wine, it'll make you feel more confident, and it'll be easier for the sommelier to help you choose a glass or a bottle of wine for you. So number 4, you want to consider the price. When you're looking at the wine menu, you want to have a good idea of how much you're willing to spend on wine for the night. So are you willing to spend money on 1 bottle of wine or 2 bottles of wine, depending on the size of your group? This will all affect how much you're going to spend on each individual bottle.
And when a sommelier recommends a bottle or glass of wine to you, take a look at it in the wine menu. Also, just to make sure that it's a wine that you think you may enjoy. Now, while you're looking at that wine, take a look at the price. If it's more than you're willing to spend on either a bottle or a glass of wine, say to the sommelier, "That's a little more than I was looking to spend tonight." Any good sommelier should understand that you're on a budget and should be able to offer you an alternative, less expensive wine. And remember, you don't have to spend a ton of money on wine in order to get a quality bottle of wine or a quality glass of wine.
That's right. So if you stuck around until the end, yay! Here's the alternative method to all this chaos. So, what the alternative method is what they call a cork fee. So what a cork fee is when you go to a restaurant, you bring your own bottle of wine and you pay a fee for them to serve it to you.
So this is a really good option. Say that there's a specific type of wine that you know you're going to want to have with the meal that they serve at the restaurant. You looked at the menu before you went. Or if it's a wine that you just really like and you know you're going to want to drink that evening. Cork fee could be the way to go for you.
Now, cork fees typically run between $10 and $30 depending on the restaurant. So you want to keep that in mind too when you're picking the restaurant that you want to go to.
But another nice thing about them too is that sometimes you can bring a better quality bottle of wine along and it'll be cheaper than if you ordered that bottle of wine off their wine menu. And that's everything you need to know about ordering a bottle or glass of wine at a restaurant. How do you order wine at a restaurant? Let us know in the comments below.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you like what you see. We'll see you in our next video.
Cheers.